Blog Talk Radio. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Hi, everybody. It's Natalie Jean Nat, chatting with Nat. Here we are. Today, I have singer-songwriter Elizabeth Lockhart. And let me tell you, this woman has a beautiful, awesome voice. I was just soothed and calmed by her voice because this week has been really crazy for me, and I was just in awe of her talent. The Oklahoma-born singer-songwriter Elizabeth Lockhart's eclectic, lifelong journey through music informs through her distinctive blend of traditional folk with elements of classical, world, and blues music. Her sound combines soulful vocals, an intricate finger-picking guitar style, and detailed storytelling that culminate into unique original compositions, drawing listeners in even further through evocative and powerful narratives. This is so true. Elizabeth spent most of her early career performing opera, classical music, and theater. But it was when she found folk roots music that she was inspired to develop her self-taught guitar and writing style reminiscent of 60s folk revival women icons such as Joan Baez. Amen. Mrs. Lockhart released her debut folk album, Master Key, in 2019, which she co-produced. It includes guest performances by highly acclaimed folk Americana and world music players, including April Verch, Chuck Brodsky, Chris Rosser, and River Guerguerian. I apologize, River, if I got that wrong. Let's welcome Elizabeth Lockhart.
Hi, Natalie. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. Listen, I am honored and truly blessed to have you on the show because I listened to your music today. I actually listened to it for the first time today, I'll be honest. And my God, you have such an amazing, amazing, beautiful voice.
Well, that is really sweet for you to say. It has been a lifelong process and dedication to music, and it's been a hard road trying to find exactly where I fit in with that voice. So, along the lines of Mary Fall, if anybody knows who that is, Fahl. She's had quite a time finding her little niche. So. Anyway, I'm glad to finally be, completely immersed in doing my solo project and have it all come together in a way that has culminated in an original project that I can be proud of. So.
Oh, you definitely need to be proud because I'm telling you, I mean, when I listened to your voice, I listened to the songs, I thought Joan Baez. I was immediately taken on a journey, a 60s journey. It's just amazing. I can't get enough of it. I'm just going to have to listen to your album over and over again because you have such
Thank you. That is a real big compliment from you as well.
I can't get over it. But it just shows how talented and powerful and wonderful women are and how they stand by their journey. I, like you, took a long time for me to figure out what I wanted to do with music. I actually fell in love with jazz first, but over the years, jazz, I love jazz and blues, but I love folk and singer-songwriter and Americana. I actually do them all, but now I'm focused on the Americana genre because I love the storytelling. What?
Exactly, yes. I think that's really what kind of solidified it for me, too, was that intricate, beautiful storytelling aspect.
I love it. And you do it so well. I mean, everybody has to listen to your voice. I gotta push your vocals because it's just I can't get over it. What first got you into music?
Well, gosh, I think I've always had it in me, as I have a video of me, I think at age 4, and I'm on stage at the little Miss Hickman's music school in Oklahoma City, and I'm scolding the other kids for getting their words incorrect. So it's really quite a sight. I guess it's just been a passion of mine, as well as dancing and really anything artistic. But I got started, I think, in 3rd or 4th grade, really having a solo, and I had sort of a Charlotte Church kind of voice. It was just big for my age, and I think when I opened my mouth, it sort of shocked my parents, and immediately I had wonderful family that really facilitated me having a rich musical journey, being able to start early with voice lessons and theater and all kinds of summer stock programs and things that really helped me develop a wide range and variety of musical styles, and also just the theatrical aspect of it I really enjoyed. So, and then really I didn't get into folk music till, I had gone to the Kerrville Folk Festival in college and heard Susan Werner. And if you haven't heard her, she's just spectacular. She's got a lot of a comedic angle that I haven't quite been able to develop yet, and hope. But she's quite something. But she has a theater opera background, and so she ended up really inspiring me. And then when I had children, I had the lovely 4-hour nap time and was able to stay home the first 2 years with them. And I taught myself how to play guitar. And at that time, I started listening to a lot of Joan Baez and Bob Dylan and the whole 60s folk revival scene. And I realized that that's really where I wanted to focus my interests on. It also, in college, I had a real interest in medieval music, which I think is really apparent on my album coming out, anything up to the 1600s. And a lot of these folk songs that I sing, traditional ballads, they come from, the 1600s, even potentially earlier, and have been passed down through Appalachia or other places, and people have collected them. And so that's been really fun. It's fun to go song hunting and find those little gems in books. There's a really great folk library in Asheville that has books of old songs, and I'll come home and take photographs of them and come home and try to figure them out. And so it's just it's been really exciting journey through. And I also, when I moved to Florida, I've been in all kinds of original projects, and sang with a 5-piece Latin band, and we did some original kind of almost down-tempo disco electronic thing with the vocals over top, and it was called Dost Thou Love Me, and it was a lot of fun as well. But I loved moving to Florida because I got Latin vibe added to kind of my repertoire, and I really love that. And now I'm singing lots of Spanish songs, some traditional and some not so traditional. So I like flirting with working in adding a bit of world into my music, world music. So
I love
hopefully that answers your question.
I love the immersion of genres, because I also do world music too. I have a world album that I did because my family's from Haiti, and it's called the Haiti Moyen.
Wow.
It's all in
we
Haitian.
We gotta exchange links, and yeah, I gotta hear your stuff. I can't wait.
I definitely will. I need to collaborate with you. I mean, I just love your voice. Your voice is just
okay. I'm currently looking for people to collaborate with, especially women. So
yeah. No, I want to work with you. I'm dead, and I don't say that a lot. Believe me, it's very rare. I don't think I've ever said it ever, except for maybe.
Well, that's awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah, no,
and we can now. That's the thing with all of the, the bad thing is that we're far apart, but the good thing is that, we do grow ever closer together, and we could collaborate. Yeah.
No, You definitely are an inspiration. So I know Joan Baez is an inspiration for you. Who else is an inspiration for you?
Well, funny, I'm an 80s kid, so I grew up listening to sort of underground pop like Morrissey. And, it's funny, I still go back there and still perform a lot of his songs. So I have this sort of 80s pop thing going on, but it's sort of epic 80s pop where it has a story behind it, or it's politically motivated. And so I think that, I've always been in love with that storytelling, deep kind of song genre of any type, be it jazz or be it something that's very introspective. I have the same taste in movies where I want it to have a meaning, or I don't really want to watch it, or I want it to have an impact on my soul. And so I think really any of those, but so I'm all over the place from Thelonious Monk to to Bob Dylan to Joan Baez to who else? Goodness, the list goes on and on. Tom Petty, love him as an artist, and who else? Gosh,
there's so many.
I'm thinking of the person, and Dan Fogelberg. I'm obsessed with old Dan Fogelberg. Strangely enough, old Genesis with Peter Gabriel. He's one of my absolute biggest, influences. The emotion behind the songs, I think, is really there. So those are probably my biggest influences. Yeah, it's a wide variety, which has led me as well as classical composers, from Akagam, way back in the 1600s. So I really was always gravitated when I was in classical music school. Right. I was gravitating towards the really one voice and one instrument. There was something so pure about that really intrigued me, like the court musician that sang all alone in this hall that had the great acoustics, and he had a lute and just his voice. So I love small ensembles a lot, and I'd like to, even get into having that happen, have a small ensemble of some classical players. So doing more folk and original music, original composed music, creative.
So we're about to play Lifer. Tell me what Lifer is about.
Lifer is all about the boy that just keeps coming back in your life. And so it was really the first time, I think I wrote it when, the whole social media thing exploded, and, you're able to get in contact with everybody. And, somehow, this person that I hadn't seen in 20 years popped up in my life, and it ended up being a wonderful time, like reconnecting with him, and just interesting how, things don't change. So that's really what it's about, lifelong friends that, romantic kind that really don't ever go away. Eternal love.
I love that. So we're going to play a clip from our sponsor first, and then we'll play your song. Hold on.
Okay, great.
Hi, this is Nikki Chris, and I host a podcast called Mixin' It. Mixin' It focuses on women in the music, entertainment, and the performing arts. Our goal is to provide an avenue for industry veterans and up-and-coming artists, musicians, engineers, and producers to showcase their talent. Listen to Mixin' It on Monday Music Madness at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Sim Radio Network.
You were watching me. You told me
taking my breath away. Now I wonder how long I can live. I can live without your love. Actually, I have your love. I just don't have your time. And I wonder how long I can stand to be without you. What that you wanted to be without you. The things that you won't say to me.
Yay! Beautiful. Oh my God. Oh, I'm just in love with your voice. Oh, you know what I love about your voice is you're authentic. I mean, I can feel every emotion that you sing, and that's what I look for in artistry. Is that I want to see that artist present in their music, and oh my gosh, you are so present. I just love it. Oh, I can't.
Thank you. It's probably my greatest strength and my greatest weakness is being present. I really get into it. I think because of the theatrical side, it's very hard for me not to get up and dance or move around while I'm playing guitar.
It works.
So I actually bought this funny belt at a folk convention, and they're super cool, and I still haven't used it. But you put it around your waist, and it's like a waist guitar for people with neck problems. It's really ingenious, created by this, genius. I wish I had her name to plug her right now because it's an awesome invention for people that can't have a guitar around their neck anymore. But anyway, I bought one so I could get up and try to salsa while I was but yeah, it hasn't gone over yet. I haven't figured that one out yet.
I just love it. How would you describe your creative process?
Well, I just have music in my head, and I think it's probably from all the years of hearing, of probably my music history course. My music history teacher, I hope she's listening right now. It was the hardest class, and for some reason it really intrigued me again because it was about the stories of the composers, and they had such crazy lives, and it was so interesting to me that I did really well in the class. Surprisingly, but we had to do hours and hours and hours of listening, and I just think that, along with, it's just really been my, even in the kitchen, I pull things from all over the world. I really have such a love of music that I think I hear melodies in my head, and because of so many influences, I'm able to put them together. And I write. I'm a melodist. I mean, my strength is melody, in my opinion. I have to work harder for the words to come. And what I find works is writing. Really, recording device in my phone changed my life. So if you get a recording app and you can get your ideas down, even a melody in your head while you're driving or something, or at the market. I mean, I'm notorious for singing in the market on my phone, and people think I'm nuts. And but you get an idea, you put it in there, and then you have a ton of things to work with. And then I have another page that's ideas about things I potentially want to write about. I'll find a really neat story. Currently, I'm writing a song about this lady I came across. Her name's Cianina Redfeather, and she was an opera singer from Oklahoma, strangely enough, who was put in an Indian school, and one of the ladies, congresswomen, I think she was the first woman congresswoman in Eufaula, or in Oklahoma, I think, and she took her under her wing and sent her to Denver off to be a singer, and she had a knack for. But anyway, it's just a beautiful story. And in the Indian school, they would only train the oldest child to do music. And so she was not the oldest child, but her sister didn't like it. And so they let her take her place. And then she ended up being the first Native American woman to perform at the Metropolitan Opera. So in a one-act opera, and I'm trying to think of the name, but so I'm writing a song about her, and it's really interesting, and it's all about appropriation, and she was glad to perform in her Native American dress in the Metropolitan Opera, but the composer that she worked for sort of exploited her and her culture. So it's an interesting dynamic, and I'm not sure how I'm going to capture that in the song, but I really start with a melody, and then I put together the melody and ideas, and an outline is the way to go. I find if I do some sort of outline and also something that gives a descriptive word chart of actual visual things that you can, see, hear, taste, and touch. And so that's how I really put together a song, those three things. And then I try to, and then every now and then a song just absolutely just comes out from start to finish. And usually those are more of the love songs, not the story songs. So, but I like working both ways.
Awesome. So tell us about your latest release, Master Key.
I'm really happy with my album. It was such a joy. It's been the first time I've been in a studio working by myself with a sound engineer, and that was so exciting. I never want to do anything else. If I could be in the studio every day for the rest of my life, I think I would be happy. Maybe 2 days off a week. So it's just such a fun time of being able to collaborate with other musicians. And really the highlight of the whole thing was paying my musicians. It felt so good to pay my musicians because I've been working in other projects, and you kind of like, who will work for free, and so that felt really good. But and so that was a really exciting part, but it's a 12-song album, so I have quite a bit of material to get out. I have about 3 more albums in me right now just that need to be recorded likely, and so I had a lot to get out. I could hardly fit it on the record. Well, I had to cut 2 songs from the actual LP. But the 12-song album, it's richly orchestrated. There is my favorite parts of the album are one of my college cohorts, partners in crime, came around to play harp on the album. She was a classical pianist and vocalist. Her name's Rachel Kapelski, and so she played harp on the album. The harp parts are exquisite, especially in the last track, which sometimes nobody hears. It's called Widow's Walk. I have this fabulous cello player who's on the album, Isabel Castelvi, and she just is avant-garde, and she makes the cello sound like a creaky ship on the last track on Widow's Walk. It's all a ship's journey. So she does a spectacular job. And then I wanted a lot of world kind of percussion in it, or at least some interesting percussive moments. And so that was River Guerguerian provided that for me. And then Chris Rosser, of course, who sound engineered, co-produced. He plays, strangely enough, I didn't plan this to happen, but I had picked him because he became highly recommended through a friend of mine. And he plays oud, which is a Arabic lute type instrument, which went perfectly with the medieval kind of traditional folk songs that I was trying to do in that sort of style. I was trying to bring them back from Appalachia and put them back in the the court or whatever, the lute musician. So that was sort of the idea, and he really provided an amazing environment, and I think the album turned out spectacular. There's also a duet with a really great folk singer friend of mine, Chuck Brodsky, called The Black Dress, and it turned out really pretty. But it really is sort of an operetta, start to finish. I recommend listening to the album start to finish, because it's got, I think it has a build, and it's like listening to a small operetta, like a 12-act show. Yeah. And sort of everything pertains to my life and my journey through, struggle and marriages and having kids and love and loss and, all of the life stuff. And so it's been really nice to kind of wrap that up. For some reason, when you finish an album, you finish a chapter in your life. It's like, oh, okay, I can move on now.
It's like, I know it's done, but I'm so blessed to have it done, and you can't wait to have it come out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no, I know that feeling well. Now, we're going to play The Trees They Do Grow High. Tell me about that song.
This is a traditional folk song, probably from Scotland, but found more complete versions in England around 1600, about an arranged marriage in medieval time to a woman who was 12 years older than her child bride, who was 14. So apparently this was a regular thing done a long time ago. And it's interesting. It's been performed by all kinds of artists, from classical artists. Benjamin Britten, I think, has a version out that he composed. And then, of course, Joan Baez and tons of other folk artists have done it. Yeah. And so anyway, it's a beautiful song. And I think that it's interesting because of the story, the subject matter. I mean, you'll hear a verse about tying blue ribbons in his hair to let the girls know that he's married. And, of course, it has a tragic ending, like most folk ballads at the time. And, I always did like dying on stage. It was one of my favorite things to do. So I guess this is my sort of ode to that in there.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to have a word from our sponsor, and then we'll play the song. Hold on one second.
Hi, it's Jordan and Madison, and we're Jay Madison out of Nashville, Tennessee. We'd love to tell you about B Squared Management, artist services by artists for artists. Get your press, branding, single release, and sync success plan now at bsquaredmgmt.com. And listen up to our latest single, Down, now on Spotify.
Trees, they do grow high and
Beautiful, beautiful. Loved it. Oh, I love it, love it. So, do you sing in the shower, and what songs do you sing?
Only opera in the shower.
Oh, wow.
It is old. It is pieces of old arias because that's the only place I can still hit those high notes.
Oh, wow. The shower is just, I think it's because the water is so soothing. Because the shower, I can come up with so many ideas. And then I step out of the shower, and then I forget everything. So I'm trying to create and invent this gadget. I have it in my head about this gadget that's waterproof and that you can hit a button and record your vocals. I'm going to do it.
I love this. Waterproof recorder. It's got to happen.
Listen,
but likely you could put a waterproof case on your phone and then just do a recording app.
You could do. They could. But I want a gadget, because I'm a gadget freak. And I want a gadget that has my name on it somewhere. What is the best advice you've been given as a musician?
To absolutely not worry about anything when you go out on stage. Absolutely, especially your voice and coming from that classical background. It was about perfection, and that's basically why I was, did not continue with that. I don't like perfection. So it's been, a hard thing for me to really disengage from that training and not worry and think of communicating instead and enjoying myself. So enjoy yourself and don't worry about your voice or what you sound like. Just go ahead and deliver the message.
I am so with you with the perfection thing. I don't like perfection. Like, I like listening to an album where there's something that's very different, or even a background noise of something falling. Like, I don't like stuff that's overly produced. I like stuff that's very natural. Oh, I hate things.
Absolutely.
Woo, I hate them. If you could change anything about the industry, what would it be?
It would be that artists that are performing and writing music with integrity, and I mean that like clean, positive, things that are. I wish that had more of a voice on, mainstream radio. I couldn't believe watching, and, no offense to any artists there, but watching the ball drop, and I was at a friend's house and they had that Dick Clark New Year's Eve show. And I'm thinking, in a pandemic, where's Bob Dylan? Where's Joan Baez? Where's James Taylor? And they're out there. They're all over the place. I meet them every day in my folk music community, and I would like to see that be represented mainstream. Not that everybody else shouldn't be represented. I just think that it's gone to the smut.
You know what? I think that you're 100% right. The one thing that I keep telling people or telling companies is the fact that, it's always the same artist. One, it's always the same artist that we see on the air, or listening on the air, or watching television. It's never somebody else different, and I'm sorry, but it's the media and the radio stations that are the problem, because that's all they play. It's like pay to play.
Right.
They won't play independent artists unless you have the money to do it. So independent artists have to constantly fight to be seen and heard. But it's all about money too. It's all about money.
Yeah.
And it's very sad, because there's so many wonderful, talented artists like you and many others out there that need to be seen and heard. That's why
I think people want that now. I think of all times in the world, what's going on, I think people would want something with depth, with more depth.
Yes.
So I'm hoping the climate is going to change. But I'm so thankful to girls like you who are out there and promoting and helping artists and, having your show and your say and, doing that kind of thing because it's so important. And I have other friends, doing this right now. And I just hope that, we can all be successful to change that climate and get that represented somehow.
Because the last album I did is the social impact message album that I released last year, and in fact, February 14th was a year, and it's all about the issues that that's going on in the world today. And a lot of artists are afraid to talk about politics and all this stuff. I don't have time for that. I don't care what people think.
Yeah.
I do my soul, but I agree with you 100%. We need to be heard and we need to be seen. What's next for you, and where can people purchase or download your album?
Hopefully what's next is about 3 more albums. I'm also trying to start a music publishing company. So that could be cool, hopefully representing artists with integrity. We'll see how that goes. And I'm also going to be directing the One Earth United Children's Choir here in Naples. My friend is putting together a world music or world art and music festival. And so hopefully when things clear up, we will have ourselves a lovely choir made up cultures that are represented here in Southwest Florida, and have them sing some original folk tunes and, some traditional folk music from their countries represented, as well as some original songwriter compositions. And other than that, hopefully I'll be in the studio and hopefully on the road again soon.
Amen to that. Where can people purchase or download your album?
Best to go to my website, elizabethlockhart.music.com, and you can purchase anything there. You can catch up on news, but you can also hear it, of course, on your favorite music streaming platform, as well as Bandcamp, Reverb Nation, and other things. So wherever you can find me, I love it. I do have CDs and also albums, LPs. So they're really beautiful. I'm really proud of the cover art as well. And I think that there's something on the album for everybody. So if you want to check it out, please do, or hear about my next show. I'll also be doing a live stream, I'm hoping, in the next couple of months to do 90 Nights with Elizabeth Lockhart. So should be fun. I hope you'll tune in.
Yeah, no. You definitely have to do that, because I'll be front and center to watch.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah. I love you.
And I hope we can collaborate, Natalie. Seriously, you got to send me your stuff. Let's check it out.
That is a new goal. We are going to collaborate. Are you part of the Folk Alliance?
I am. Yeah.
Good.
The International Folk Alliance. I'm a member of that. Are you?
I used to be.
You are too?
No, I used to be a long time ago. I have to go back and re-up that. I'm on so many memberships.
Oh, good. Okay, we have to chat then later. We'll chat later about that.
Definitely chat later. But I am so honored and so happy to have had you on this platform, because you are amazing. You and I are on the same page on so many different things. It's just amazing. I'm glad that you emailed us at our email address for sistersandmusic.org. Yes, we want to elevate, we want to empower, we want to inspire, we want to support women and the men and the brothers that support us as well, because every time I say that. But thank you so much for being on the show, and I hope you come back, and we're definitely going to collaborate, because it's a must.
Okay, thank you, Natalie. I can't wait. Really, it's been such a pleasure, and thanks for having me. And I just bless your project, and I bless everybody out there listening. I know it's a hard time, and I hope everybody's surviving out there. So my prayers are with each and every one of us, and you too, Natalie. And thanks for having me on the show. It's been such a pleasure meeting you. Thank you. Have a good night. Okay.
Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard.